How many of you, by a show of hands, fear catching a disease of some kind? Not like, your greatest fear, but like, a fear you have. That kind of fear. I mean, like, of getting sick, like, you don't like getting sick. Like, Okay, so how many of you, if I told you, would be afraid when I said that we are in the midst of a pandemic? Would that scare any of you? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, well, good morning. My name is Anthony Ferrara, and today I would like to share with you just the effects and the prevalence of today, especially of swine flu and its vaccine. I've gathered much information from my mom, who's a registered nurse with a BSN, which is a Bachelor of Science degree, and she all the time just gets emails from the CDC and FDA about what's going on with the swine flu, and she's always updated constantly. And I've also done personal research online on their websites, and the websites like USA.gov, and there's tons of knowledge out there just about it. And I basically just want to hammer to you guys today just the importance of knowing that a vaccine is out there, because it is a very powerful virus, but we can combat it, and the resources are in our grasps. So let me start by posing the question: what is swine flu? Well, the CDC defines swine flu as basically being a stronger strain of the seasonal flu, which we all know about. We always go to the doctor and get a vaccine on it. But this swine flu has been titled H1N1 because it's such a unique and rare strain in the virus that they really don't know what else to title it. And we are, the CDC says, in the middle of an outbreak, and it can't be escaped. How do you know if you have H1N1? Well, there is, just like the seasonal flu, a fever, a cough, sore throat. You have body aches and headaches and chills, and you have fatigue. People who have gotten the swine flu, though, have said things like, I have diarrhea and vomiting, and just this type of thing where it's the worst case scenario of flu. Like, you really know you have swine flu. My mom's told me of cases where people who have had swine flu have just been flat on their back in their bed, can't get out of bed. And usually I know personally with the flu, when I've had it, you can at least get out of bed to go to the bathroom, but these people, they're just knocked flat on their back for a whole week. It also has a way of being worse in other cases. There are certain people that are targeted by this disease that actually need to watch out for the disease more than others. There are 3 groups. The first 2 are probably, you think, are, of course, givens. The first one is pregnant women, which are usually weak because they're carrying a child and they're basically trying to take in for someone else. The second one is people who have comorbidities or underlying chronic medical conditions that are either like things like lupus, arthritis. They have a weak immune system, stuff like that. They're really weak. But something that I found to be really interesting and shocking in itself was that we ourselves, as college students, as people under 25 years old, fall into one group. It's between 6 months old to young adults under 25 years old. I mean, that's all of us. I mean, we're an entire group for the swine flu. That kind of frightens me. I don't know about you guys. But there is good news. There's a way to fight this. There's a way, even though we're an entire group, to combat this and win. The vaccine is definitely the #1 step that the CDC says we should all take. Now, I know there's fears about the vaccine because we're not sure about it, what it is, what it entails, what chemicals it's made up of. But the CDC tells us that it's, in fact, as safe, if not just as safe, as a seasonal flu. It's made the same ways, in the same facilities, with the same properties. Processes. So we do know it. It's not an unknown. There are known chemicals being just thrown at us by the government because they say it's right. The CDC, they do tests all the time to make sure that this stuff is good before it gets to the market and we take it. Now, there were cases back in 1976 when the strain of swine flu came out to the United States. And the first vaccines that they brought out, there was not much known about them at all. And a syndrome called Guillain-Barré syndrome, which is a ascending paralysis syndrome. It basically paralyzes you from the ground up, and starts at your feet, works up to your head. But by the time it gets like your lungs and heart area, you're dead already. But those cases being linked to the swine flu vaccine have no concrete proof. The people that got the vaccine, people who didn't get the vaccine, still got it. But the fact of the matter is that 1 in every 100,000 people get Guillain-Barré syndrome. So the link between the two is pretty much non-existent in itself. And like I said, it's made the same way as the swine flu. So that should be of comfort because, I mean, how many people by show of hands take the seasonal flu vaccine at least every year or something like that? Okay. But it's like, as a question to pose, like why don't you take it? Like, is it because of fear? Is it because you just think it doesn't help? Or?
I haven't needed it, I guess.
Apathy.
Apathy. Well, I mean, to let you know, it is, as the CDC says, it's the best sure way of preventing it. Now, there also are practical methods of preventing. The CDC says that hand washing is a #1 way to prevent it, just in a practical way of life. It definitely helps in just fighting the germs. Because anything you touch, let's face it, has germs. But not only to scare you guys, but I'm just saying, like, germs are out there. Unless you live in a bubble, you're going to be affected by germs. But our bodies can fight it off. But this, like I said, this type of strain is powerful, so we have to watch out for it. And if we do come in contact with sick people, just keep in mind, just wash your hands. And if you're not close to water, use alcohol rubs and stuff like that. Any bacterial water. Also, the CDC says stay in just good general health. Get plenty of sleep. Manage your stress. Be active. Try to just drink and eat nutritiously, and just stay in good physical health. And your body will be able to take care of itself and be strong. If you get sick, possibility might happen. Stay home. That's the best advice, because you don't want it to spread. And people who have gotten it, they get over it. It lasts, especially if you take the medication that doctors have, and I'll mention that in a little bit. It lasts maybe like 5 to 7 days. So you do get over it. But the best thing to do is stay home so you don't spread to someone else. And there are medications, like I said, called Tamiflu, which are antiviral medications that the doctors put out to help you to get better faster and have the symptoms be milder. So take from this that the swine flu is real. It's in our face, and it is a pandemic. And there is a way to fight it. The vaccine is probably one of the best ways. And also practical methods are always great helps as well. So I want to thank you today, my friends, just for your time this morning. And I ask you to please just remember the CDC's recommendation to just receive your vaccine as soon as possible. Even though this is just a virus, H1N1 still has the power to destroy lives. So thank you.